This is Jared Horak for today's RacingDigest.com, and this is my first 2018 Kentucky Derby contenders list. Now, dating back to 2010, I've always started my Derby list after Del Mar and Saratoga, and this year is no exception. Now, some people might think it's a bit early, but remember that 11 of the last 17 Kentucky Derby winners, they have graduated by October 4th, including 8 of the last 11. So there's a good chance that at least within a week or so, we would have already seen the Derby winner break his maiden. Some of the early contenders that I had back in 2010 and 2011, my original September #1 contenders, Stay Thirsty and Alpha, they both ended up making the Kentucky Derby, but they didn't win it, but they both won the Travers during their 3-year-old campaigns. Now, other horses have turned out to be disappointments. They just didn't go on, like 4 to 5, Purple Sky, some horses that I had as early #1s. They just didn't pan out. And then we've had others like Mastery. They've gotten hurt along the way. They didn't make it, and they showed a lot of promise. In 2015, my first Derby contender was International Star, and he ended up scratching the morning of the Derby. So he did make it to the field. He just scratched. Mohamed in 2016 was my original #1 Derby contender, and he ended up finishing 4th in the Derby that year. So right now, obviously it's early, but we're looking for horses that have shown a lot of promise, come from good connections with nice pedigrees. Maybe they cost a lot at auction. And let's just get right into the list, and we'll start from bottom to top. Number 11 on my exceptional 11 2018 Kentucky Derby contenders, and this is September 24th, 2017. Jungle Warfare is going to come in at number 11. Animal Kingdom is the sire. Jerry Hollendorfer is the trainer. This one, he's still a maiden, and he's run 3 times. And all of those races were in dirt sprints, and he hit the board each time. And then his career debut, he got a 98, today's Racing Digest final rating that day. And he's faced some good horses in his career so far. Some promising runners, Zatter, St. Patrick's Day, Tatters to Riches, Runaway Ghost, Serengeti. They're all decent horses. And I think just based on his pedigree, he could get better as distances increase. Coming in at number 10 is going to be Bahamian. This one trained by Simon Callahan, the owner, Redham Racing. The sire is Freedom Child, and Freedom Child is standing in Maryland. I got to see Freedom Child in Maryland at Country Life Farm, and there's a picture of him up on the screen now. A fantastic looking stallion for sure, and he could end up being a decent stallion. The Dam Sire, Distorted Humor. This one, in his career debut on July 22nd, he ended up getting a 104 final rating for today's Racing Digest. Disappointed a little bit, but then his second career start, he ran a much better race. He was clearly second best behind Bob Baffert trainee Salamini at Del Mar on September 2nd. So I think he'll get better with age. Coming in at number 9 is Has It for trainer Todd Pletcher. Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners is the owner. Warfront is the sire. Indian Charlie, the Dam Sire. He went straight to the front in his debut, and he held off the favorite in that race, Chad Brown runner, Good Magic. So that was a nice effort in his career debut. That was at Saratoga on August 26th. He's probably going to show up in the Champagne Stakes next for Pletcher. Coming in at number 8 on my list, Tatters to Riches. Union Rags is the sire, and Union Rags was one of my all-time favorites. He was my Derby contender. He was my top Derby contender. I played him in the Derby the year that he ran, and then he ended up winning the Belmont Stakes that year. And then AP Indy is the Dam Sire, another one that won the Belmont Stakes. So Tatters to Riches cost $1 million for trainer Jeff Mullins. And then his career debut at 6 furlongs at Del Mar. He won nicely. He got a 122 final rating, and his last fraction was in 37.3, so he finished up nicely. But then in his second start in the Grade 1 Del Mar Futurity, he didn't run as well, finishing 6th. He's certainly bred to be a good runner, and he could improve. He could show up in the front runner at Santa Anita. Coming in at number 7, Hollywood Star, Malibu Moon the sire, Wild Rush the Dam Sire, Dale Romans, Albal Family Racing. This one, he already has some Kentucky Derby points. In the Iroquois last time, he got 4 Derby points for finishing 2nd. So he's one that has a lot of promise with a nice pedigree and good connections. Coming in at number 6, Good Magic for trainer Chad Brown. I mentioned him that he finished 2nd to Has It in his career debut. Curlin is the sire, Hard Spun the Dam Sire. Certainly a nice pedigree. Chad Brown, good trainer. He should continue to get better, and he shouldn't be a maiden much longer. Coming in at number 5, Honorable Treasure for trainer Ken McPeak. To Honor and Service the sire. Dixie Union, the Dam Sire. This one faded to finish 5th of 7 in his turf debut. Then they switched him over to the main track at 7 furlongs, and he romped in his second career start. So he's one that he likes the dirt. He should get better with age. Coming in at number 4, another horse that I mentioned earlier. Bob Baffert trainee. Salamini, Curlin is the sire. Stormcat is the dam sire. Excellent pedigree. In his career debut, he was even money, and he won nicely at Del Mar on September 2nd, and he beat my contender that I mentioned earlier, Bahamian. Coming in at number 3, Zatter, another Bob Baffert trainee. Midnight Loot the sire, Dixie Union the dam sire. Zayat Stables owns this one. He beat his highly regarded stablemate, St. Patrick's Day, in his career debut at Del Mar on August 20th. He got a 140 pace rating, a 132 final rating, and then St. Patrick's Day came back and broke his maiden at Del Mar on September 2nd. And then in the Grade 1 Del Mar Futurity, he stalked, he took the lead, and he was run down late. A solid effort there. He could show up in the front runner next. Coming in at number 2, Free Drop Billy, another Dale Romans trainee. Albaugh Family Racing Stables again. Union Rags is the sire. Giants Causeway the dam sire. Certainly bred to get better as he goes on. They paid $200,000 for this one. He was second in the Sanford and the Hopeful last time out. I think he'll get better as he goes around 2 turns, and he's going to get that shot in the Breeders' Futurity next at Keeneland. And then coming in at number 1 is going to be Bolt de Oro. This one, a West Coast runner. A Medallia de Oro is the sire. AP Indy the dam sire. Bred top and bottom to get two turns. Ruiz Racing owns this one. Mick Ruiz, the trainer, in his career debut. In his debut, he broke slow. He pulled clear to win nicely at 6.5 furlongs at Del Mar on August 5th. A 128 final rating, and then he came back and he rallied to win the Grade 1 Del Mar Futurity. They paid $650,000 for this one, and he could certainly end up being getting on that road to the Derby and getting some Derby points along the way. Now, this is going to be my first update. I'll be updating frequently with blogs and videos throughout the 2018 Kentucky Derby season. Until next time, good luck at the race.